interesting.
I'm just like super into exploring different areas that allow me to have these like feelings of orgasms.
Yeah, well, they're so complicated. The difference between a clitoral orgasm and a G-spot, you think they feel the same, and
Yeah.
you're expecting the same, but they are two very different feeling orgasms.
I know.
And G-spots are so much harder to unlock for
It
so
is.
many people.
It's so hard. But one of my favorite ways to orgasm is through ejaculatory orgasm.
Like squirting. Oh, it's like my favorite thing. I want it so bad. You might
I
have to teach me
fucking
some
love
stuff.
squirting. It just feels so good right afterward. I'm like all relaxed. And, you know, it's fucking crazy because sometimes I squirt and I'm like energized, ready to go. Like the day is better, you know, and I love squirting in the morning because it just makes my day way better. I show up with more energy. But then the squirting kind of adjusts to what I want because I would have squirting orgasm at night and it puts me to sleep.
Oh, stop it. That's just
It's just
beautiful.
like,
It's like, thank you. Thank you.
yeah, adaptable squirting orgasms.
Yeah, who needs a Xanax? And you've got
Girl,
squirting
I have
orgasm.
square snacks. How would you say?
Square snacks.
Square snacks. But one of my most memorable orgasms ever is with my now husband. We got married in January.
Congrats.
Thank you.
love.
Not that marriage should be everyone's thing, not at all. But
But if it works for you, it works for you.
yes. And so when we started dating, you know, we started like exploring our bodies in like different ways. And I came to realize that he's so good at fingering. Two reasons. One, well, he's a painter, so he uses his hands all the
Oh
time.
my goodness.
And he's one of those people, what is it called? Like ambidextrous.
Ambidextrous, yes.
Yeah.
So he can use two hands and all the fingers. 10 fingers.
Okay, are you guys non-monogamous or poly? Because that sounds delicious.
Girl, we're monogamish. So
Oh,
I'm looking at you.
Whoa, baby, it's about to go down. Because I haven't squirted since I squirted twice by myself when I was like a teenager, and never again. I have not
No,
been able to
what?
squirt. Yeah,
So it's been over 10 years.
way over. It must be like it must be like 15 years. I would say maybe even more.
Not squirting. You have not squirted for 15 years.
Yeah, I would even technically say maybe I didn't squirt back then, but there was definite liquid out. But it wasn't like, you know how you see it and it's all like,
Okay, it
and
is
it's
not like in porn. It's not.
Yeah.
Okay, squirting is not.
Okay,
I feel like
I'm glad you
real
said that.
ejaculatory orgasm is unlike porn.
Yeah.
And also, I've learned from some porn stars that some set will have like tiny little water bottles that they put under their ass to like sit on and like squirt out and like just shoot squirt to like the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Wow, I could see that. I've
not
worked in
that, but
those
I
sets.
definitely squirt. Like you see it. It's, you know, it comes out, but it's more like a.
It's like a
It's
gush.
not like a.
Yeah, it's not like a fountain. It's just like
it's one time. It's like a like that.
That sounds. I can do that. That
It's
sounds
amazing.
Great. I
It
need
feels
more of that.
amazing. So the first reason why he's so good at fingering, he's a painter, and the second reason why he's so good at fingering is he used to be a dentist. So
You know, I have like a kink for dentists as well. You know, when
Same.
you're
No.
in the chair, and you're
Yeah.
like. My
My mouth is
turned on, but I'm
open.
so fucking turned on. I'm like, what are you gonna do to me?
that's
I love
so
it
fucking
much.
crazy.
And
I
their
hate
finger?
dentists.
Their finger always feels bigger than it actually is.
Yes, it feels huge and imposing.
It's warm.
With the gloves as well. Like I have a thing for
I
latex
can't.
gloves too. And just
Oh.
like, and they're just like, okay, open wide. And I'm just like,
Oh my
okay.
And then you look into their eyes because they're so
Yes.
close.
I'm
Yeah.
like the opposite of that.
Really? Is it
Yeah.
like a fear?
I can't do dentists.
Oh, I don't blame you. Either
Every time I
swear.
have to get like dental work done, I'm so anxious. I might need one of those square snacks.
Yeah. Give me a square
Fryer.
snack right now.
Yeah.
I feel like when we're forming, we either get something that turns into a real fear or turns into like a kink or a fetish.
Oh,
For me, it was
yeah.
tickling. For a lot of people, some people fucking hate tickling. And for me,
can't.
it's a full fetish.
I'm like, don't tickle me. I kick your face.
yeah.
Tickling
won't
could
be
a turn
coming.
on.
I
Oh my
won't be
God,
coming.
It's a literal fetish for me ever since I was young. It's like the
Okay.
thing that makes me bust.
Oh my gosh.
And I have really
we gotta
fun
talk about that in
session last
detail
night,
later.
Yes.
I
yes,
need to know everything about this because it's so unusual.
Yes, very uncommon, and used to have a lot of like shame and embarrassment. There's still shame there for sure, inherent shame. But yeah, like I'm feeling it now. I've accepted it. It's part of who I am.
Oh my
It's like the porn that I watch. It's everything about my sexuality. So
Ooh, damn. Okay, well then I can say with the same type of passion for fingering.
yeah. Oh,
The first porn that I watched was actually fingering porn. It has always been with me.
oh.
That's why I think, they're in the real world, I feel like there's sexual debut, but there's also porn debut.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whatever is the first porn that you watch, I feel is like really important. If it's like my son, I'll be like, I don't necessarily want you to watch gangbang porn.
That was mine.
The first one was
exhausting,
it.
man.
Okay, well now you're effed.
Yeah. Like imagine. Is that the porn that you can only get off of and watch, or is it just like that's the one that's the memorable one?
It's the memorable one. It's also now my sexual fantasy.
Oh yes, that's beautiful.
I
yeah.
do think that it does become the person.
Yeah.
Like for me, the fingering part is like it's become me. And many men and women that I talk to, it like whatever they watch first, it's like their thing now.
Yes, mine was torture.
Oh, that was the first porn you watched? That's so fucking advanced.
It was more like
Like, were you like 14 and watching torture porn?
So it went from learning about torture in history to running home on the family computer and looking up everything to do with torture.
No. It's
And then
always the
that
looking up on
slowly-
the internet.
Yeah. And like me just being absolutely obsessed. And this was before I really realized it was sexual. And then that moved into quite extreme porn.
Oh,
Yeah. And now I've realized that it's not really torture that I like, but I do love sadomasochism and I do love power play.
Yeah.
And pain isn't really my thing, but when it's like fucked up, like mind levels of mindfuckery, and also dungeon scenes.
Oh my God.
Dungeon scenes is like so base and basic, but God, they get me going.
Dungeon scenes are not basic for other people.
Yeah.
The people listening to my podcast, dungeon scene is not basic for them.
I mean, I suppose basic in the world of like BDSM. When you think of
You're
like,
familiar.
Yeah.
Like, you're like,
yeah,
this
yeah,
is my
yeah.
world, and I know how it goes.
Yeah,
Fun
maybe
little
I
time.
overdid it. But yeah.
Who knows?
I love this. Fingering,
so back to
squirting.
fingering and squirting. So one of my favorites memory about coming is that day. Okay, we had like a long day at the garden. We were kind of microdosing,
I love
and it's amazing. And we were kind of feeling each other all day. And when I'm microdosing, sometimes I feel like pulses in my vagina.
I get that too.
You
Like,
do?
Yeah. Like the weird sort of like spacey horniness and like connection and
Yeah.
like I need something inside me. And it's like, yeah, it's kind of like it's almost like my pussy turns into a vortex and like needs
It's
something.
like microdosing orgasm.
Yeah.
Like another unusual one.
A pulsing pussy.
Yes, but I literally feel that, and it's become like a thing where I really like. So yeah, we had that all day, and then we came home, and then he cooked for me, and he's always cooking naked. So I'm like, oh, I'm so turned on. Like, fuck me already, fuck me, daddy.
especially
And
cooking as well.
then
Oh,
we
the
went
meat.
into kind of a little like kind of foreplay. He like started massaging my body, and he's like, licking my nipples, and he's so good at just giving it time.
The time, the slowing
Time.
down, the patience when you are not patient.
Right. It's so important. He would just spend, a long time on like the nipples.
Oh my God, stop. That's like my favorite.
We talked about nipple orgasm.
nipple gasms.
Yeah, nipple
And you're just
gasms.
like, ugh, it's just never ending.
It's
Footgasms.
amazing.
I can get
Yeah.
footgasms, ticklegasms.
can?
Yeah, the whole
Oh,
thing.
girl, you're
She's
lucky,
connected.
girl. She had hot spots everywhere.
Yeah, but it's taken years to get there, and it's taken a lot of practice and a lot of like unlearning and de-shaming myself and just like fucking go for it. Like most people hate feet, and they're like, oh no, don't go anywhere near my feet. But like I used to be that person, and now I'm just like, yeah, fucking stick my foot in your mouth and just.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh, like
Oh
I
man, I would love for
it.
someone to suck my feet.
Oh my God, it's so good. They are erogenous zones. It's like having your
Yes.
nipples and clit on the bottoms of your feet.
Oh, eat my feet, daddy.
Yeah, you make
So clearly, there's many ways to orgasm as women.
So
Yes.
many
armpits.
ways. So many
armpits.
ways.
I'm like getting into armpits right now.
Yeah. Oh, you
Ears.
are?
Yeah,
About to get into it.
Yeah, because I'm like I've still got the no, that's too much. Stay away from
Oh
me.
my God.
And now like I'm like allowing it, and I'm like, and then I'm like, Oh,
Oh
my
my
God.
gosh.
Someone like eating my armpit out is just
I've
heaven.
never had that. Girl, you've had all kinds of fucking orgasms. I've had like multiple orgasms, but they're all in this region, like in my pelvic region and nipples. So I would have nipple gasm and then okay, that day, he would like finger me, like lick my inner thighs. It feels amazing. When someone lick your inner thighs with passion,
And they
like,
find that like
I
real
feel like people
sensitive
forget
spot.
that art.
Oof,
It is
yeah.
an art. It's beautiful. And I think my listeners that are like at about like beginner level, intermediate level, like this is the thing you should be doing is like licking the body.
Yes,
Like
ears.
licking, licking the ears,
Ears.
licking the inner thighs, like the ass, like, you know?
Have you ever had somebody bite the inside of your thighs?
Yes.
Oh my God.
And then the next day you're walking around feeling their bite marks?
Yes.
you get
Well,
the bruises.
That'll
know
make
why,
me squirt.
Do you know why I called my brand Luvbites?
No.
I didn't even know
Because
that.
I love biting.
Oh my God. I mean, that
And
makes,
to
makes
me-
perfect sense.
Yes, to me it's like making marks. Like this is my
Yes.
territory.
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah, I'm a little bit about, like, I own you.
So yeah,
Treat me
it's
like
so
an art
fucked up,
piece.
but I love it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like we talk
that's-
about like, no, the patriarchy, but it's like, yes, own my body and my soul.
Yeah. And then
Exactly.
look in the mirror together and have them show you where they marked you.
Yes,
Exactly.
look at what I've done.
Appreciate them,
Oh, the marks.
Sending a picture, like,
Yeah.
ooh, oh,
Yeah, look what you
yes.
did to me.
So what
Okay,
is
so
the
I-
tea? What is the
Oh.
tea on women not being able to orgasm?
Oh my. So I think a lot of it is based in our minds. I think a lot of it is to do with shame and embarrassment, is to do with not allowing ourselves to relax fully into the pleasure. And we're just so hung up on our bodies and what we look like and what we sound like and who we are that we just can't get out of our heads enough to enjoy the sensation and pleasure. And I was the same. Sometimes it still takes me 30 minutes for myself to achieve a clitoral orgasm. I don't use my hands anymore because it just doesn't work for me. It has to be with vibrators and toys. I thought I was broken. I thought there was something wrong with me for not being able to achieve an orgasm, a clitoral orgasm. And then when I discovered sex toys, I was like, oh, this is what it's supposed to feel like. A sex toy doesn't mean that you're broken. It means that it's speeding up the process and making it easier to achieve that orgasm for you.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I think a lot of us really struggle with that. It's hard.
It's true. And I mean, statistically speaking, lots of women reported that they've never had vaginal orgasms.
Yes.
You know, I've not had vaginal orgasm until I was 28. Like the
Yes.
full on,
Yes,
full
yes.
body orgasms.
Yeah, I think I was around like 26, 27, 28.
I've not had it until I was 28. So, you know, growing up and being sexually active and sleeping with people and watching these like TVs and movies where women go like, and then they like come
Yeah.
up this like huge climax.
And the porn.
I'm like, I've never had that. Like, whatever she ordered, I want one because
Yeah.
I've never had that. And in my mind, I was like, oh, fuck, I'm broken. So
Yeah.
maybe I can't come ever. Might as well give up.
Yeah, you're just like, well, that's it. I'm never going to be able to please
Yeah.
someone. No one's going to be able to please me. That's
And I know a lot of people talk about clitoral orgasm being equal. I do think that they're all equal, but I think it's okay to want to try to have all of them.
yeah.
You know, I think there's this narrative of like, it's okay if you can only have clit orgasm, just like live with that forever. I feel like,
that would be a very, very sad world.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, we have like the G spot for a reason, and it's still very much controversial because like some sex experts still talk about how like there's no G spot.
So what I've heard on that is that there isn't technically a G spot. It's not like how we've imagined, which is a button.
One little spot.
It's the way that our clitoris is formed, which looks like this giant wishbone. It's part of that muscle, part of that clitoris that goes through and inside your vagina, and depending on where those nerve endings are is your G-spot and can be stimulated. But I can only stimulate my G-spot if I'm extremely turned on.
Yeah.
If everything's like hot and swole inside
Yes.
and I'm just constantly thinking about sex, that's the perfect time. And that means a lot of foreplay.
Yes.
Not just like foreplay that you think you might like, but foreplay that you actually like. For me,
Exactly.
I'm not really a big fan of being eaten out, but if someone was to tie me down and tickle me, that is my perfect form of foreplay.
Yeah. But would you like that? Like, let's say if you were to have sex every single day for 2 weeks, would you like that foreplay every day? Like the tickle?
Yeah.
Damn, you really do like the tickle
It's a
orgasm.
fetish. It's not just a kink.
I'm
it's a
so
fetish.
into this right now.
It's hard coded in my brain. I can't undo it. It's like, it's the same as people who have a foot fetish or people who are into latex. It is, a fetish isn't the same as a kink. A fetish is it's like the main source of arousal for somebody. It's an experience that happens that when you're in your younger years or adolescence, that starts with an obsession that turns into something sexual, and it has to be a non-sexual act, object, or body part. That's what makes it a fetish. It's something that you can try and repress, but it just comes back to bite you in the ass harder. Kink's just an uncommon turn on, but a fetish is like deep.
I'm trying to think if I have fingering kinks or fetish.
Yeah, it's really hard
Because
to
I
tell.
do like would prefer it every time.
So a good tester is like when you're being fucked and you're just trying really hard to reach an orgasm, is it fingering that you think about? What's the porn that you always go to? If you just saw a picture of someone fingering, would that like almost involuntarily arouse you?
Fuck, yeah.
Then it could be a fetish.
Oh my God, I'm
Girl.
learning something new today.
I got a finger
Maybe-
fetish.
Finger
Finger
fetish.
fetish.
Okay,
Because
the porn that I watch
yeah.
is like getting fingered on a bus.
Oh my God. And is it specifically getting fingered in public spaces that you like? Yeah.
Oh my God, is this a thing?
It could be.
Did you just
yeah.
diagnose me?
Dr.
I have
Reed over here.
Yes, Dr. Reed
I am
over
not
here.
getting on that bus.
Adam, drive. Adam's driving.
There's a real fine line between a fetish and a kink and
Yeah.
what turns you on. It's really hard to tell, but the only thing I can do is just do more research into
Yeah.
it. Because it took me, I have had this fetish for years and I have shamefully kept it a secret for most of my life. And it's only until now that I've accepted it and done my research and looked more into it, then I've gone, it is for sure a fetish. For
And
sure.
repressing it doesn't do you any good.
God,
So
my
many
poor teenage
studies.
self.
Yeah, so many studies show the main characteristic of someone that experiences low sexual satisfaction is someone who has hidden shame.
Yes, that was
So,
me through all
yeah.
of my beautiful relationships where I thought I had all this sex, but I just never told them that I had a tickle